I will begin with the story of my father's father, Dwight Byram, the patriarch of the Byram family. My grandfather was born in a tiny town which no longer exists called Cheney in Oklahoma.
Shortly after his birth, the family moved to Texas as they worked as sharecroppers.
His family moved all over Texas farming until my grandpa was about 9 years old. At this time, they moved to San Bernardino, California, where Dwight worked in the orange groves and helped build houses out in the desert. At 13 years old, they moved to another town called Cheney, this time in eastern Washington. They went there to be a part of the dairy business, but after a bad investment in dairy, they lost everything. My grandfather was terribly embarrassed about his home situation and never had any friends over. During this time in his life, he mowed lawns for money. At the age of 18, my grandpa joined the Air Force, right at the beginning of the Korean War, and he served for 7 years. After the Air Force, he moved to Hobbs, New Mexico, where he met my grandmother. Together, they moved to Bakersfield, California to start a family. In 1964, my dad was born. The same year, my grandpa started his company, Bakersfield Pipe and Supply. Born and raised in Bakersfield, California, my dad grew up riding dirt bikes, climbing trees, and shooting guns for fun. At 17 years old, his parents took a step out of his life, and he moved into an apartment on his own. It was at this time that my dad began selling copiers door to door. He was really good at it and ended up making a good amount of money, but not enough to keep himself sustained, so he decided to go to college. He applied to the University of San Diego and got in. He worked very hard there, and after 3 years was able to graduate early. After graduating college, my dad worked for his dad, flying airplanes back and forth to Mexico and different areas of the US. My parents met while on a whale watching trip in 1991 in the San Juan Islands of Washington. At the time, my mom was totally not into my dad. But after his persistence and letters, she caved in, and in 1993 they were married. In 1996, I was born in Seattle, Washington. Four years later, in 2000, my brother was born. My brother and I have spent our entire lives in Seattle, and I've only just now branched out and moved to Denver to go to college. I want to thank my grandfather for going through such a migration experience, which ultimately led me to having a much easier life than he did.
Foreign cars everywhere, bad bitches everywhere, take the tool everywhere. We make this money everywhere, 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 everywhere. These niggas straight out of the hood, they going to Paris. They whip that, we whippin' it, that they bitches is that they gon' get.
Pull up and hop out a foreign car, and I'm getting trailed by a foreign bruh. I'm living life like an avatar. I got a stick when I pull up on y'all. Who the fuck think I'm a sucker? Who the fuck think I won't pull up and let loose? I got 3 bitches with me, I'ma pull up on Bleeding, they gon' fuck the crew. Who gonna stop me now? Who's gonna stop me now? Who's gonna stop me?